What, what, what was that? Like, I'm so confused right now. What is this? So I'm going to try my best to explain this movie without actually spoiling anything. Because this movie is just really confusing. I'm not even for sure if I even understand what the actual plot is, because I really don't. But basically, what this is about is a couple played by Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem, and they have these uninvited guests come into their home that's in the middle of like nowhere. There's no roads or sidewalks up to the house, and somehow these people find their house and invite themselves in and be very intrusive. And then more and more guests come, which makes the plot all the more confusing. I just don't really completely understand what was going on during this movie. During the movie, I was asking myself so many questions just because there were so many questions to be asked. Because you'll be asking yourself stuff like, why is Jennifer Lawrence the only sane one? Why does the house keep on rotting away in certain parts? Why does the house have a heart? Why are these people so intrusive and want to know so much? What's wrong with Jennifer Lawrence? Why is she sick? And like, what's going on? Like, what is this movie? What's the point in this movie even being made? I really don't understand this movie, and I feel like a lot of people won't. Now, some of these questions do get answered, but unfortunately, not all of them, at least not directly, and some of them you actually got to try and figure out yourself. Then, after the movie, I just sat there. I just sat there through the entire credits, which the credits aren't very long, by the way, but I just sat there confused, trying to figure out what exactly I just watched. And I was just so confused. Like, I don't even know how to express this movie other than that I was confused. I don't even know what else to really talk about because just during the entire movie, I was just confused. In fact, like honestly, I was entertained through some of the movie just because I wanted to know what was going on. Like even the performances, I'm not even 100% sure what to say about them because most of the people just come off so weird and abnormal and it just doesn't really feel natural at all. It's just all kind of confusing. Like I'm not even for sure what it all was supposed to mean. I believe the actors did what they were supposed to do, but I'm not entirely for sure what the point was and what they were doing. Something that you can definitely notice throughout the entire movie is that the camera seems to really like Jennifer Lawrence. Like good majority of the time, Jennifer Lawrence is on screen, whether it's just her shoulder or her face or anything like that. But like the camera follows her a good amount of the time, or is viewing from her viewpoint. It's all centered around Jennifer Lawrence, which is interesting, but you don't really get to learn the thought process of all the other characters, probably just because they're so out there and unbelievable. But I really just don't get it. But it's very easy to say that this is Jennifer Lawrence's movie. She's basically the center of attention throughout the entire movie. I even heard people after the movie say that was the worst movie. And then another guy say, you're no longer picking the movies. So, I mean, obviously, other people didn't like this as well. However, there are some people that really like this. The only thing that I can kind of think of what the movie was actually supposed to be about is kind of like a religion aspect, just from like a completely different and weird viewpoint on it. And so, like, I really can't go into it a whole lot during the spoiler free section at least. This movie will basically just have you fairly confused throughout the entire movie. And I mean, you can't deny that it's definitely unique, but I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. However, like I said, I was entertained through part of it just because I wanted to know what was going on. And eventually some of those did get answered, but then some of them also didn't. This movie's kind of advertised as a scary movie, at least that's what it seems like in the trailers to me, but it's really not. Like there's a couple jump scares that don't even really work in there, but there's also like no scary scenes, not even scenes that feel like they're supposed to be scary, except for like one maybe. But this really isn't a scary movie or a horror movie or anything like that. It's more of like a psychological thriller. It's a movie that you really got to sit there and think about because wasn't really caring for it throughout the movie, but once I actually sat there and thought about it afterwards, then I started liking it a little bit more, but it's still not that great of a movie. So I'm gonna give Mother a 4 out of 9. So Mother is fairly confusing throughout the entire process, but afterwards you can kind of piece some of the pieces together and it actually starts making a little bit of sense, but it kind of depends on the person. This movie definitely has a required taste. But that doesn't mean that there's no enjoyment to be found for even those people that are confused, because I did find entertainment even though I was confused like throughout the entire film. Whether you like the movie or dislike the movie, it's a movie that makes you want to talk about it or think about it or something. Like, it's just a movie that makes you really think, even just because it's so out there. I know I'm expressing how much I just find the movie so confusing. I really don't understand it. But if you've already seen it, I recommend you go see my spoiler talk, because I kind of share my thoughts on what I think happened and how it all connects, but I'm really not 100% sure. So maybe you can help me and see if you agree with what I think, or if you just think something completely different, because I feel like this movie is basically up for so many different interpretations. But if you did enjoy this, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel to see more content like this. And remember, no movie is a perfect 10 out of 10. God bless you all.